Good evening or afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another tropical update here by Age Weather Forecast. We have a huge, major update. Tropical Storm Faye has officially formed as it's moving along the eastern coast of the U.S. and could possibly make landfall within the next 24 to maybe 30 hours on the southern New Jersey coast or all the way near downtown New York City or portions of Long Island. So people in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic have to be on the lookout. We also now have tropical storm warnings issued as far as the New Jersey coast all the way to Rhode Island coast there. So incredibly updates. Extremely rare to have tropical storm warnings in New York City and the Mid-Atlantic in July, even in general. So tropical storm Faye has now officially formed now, as the letter F has now been put and checked off the list here. Now we have letter G next up in line. But before we get in the video, please check out the Discord link in the description below. Smash that post notification icon, subscribe, and also hit the like button to show your awesome support. Also, of course, try to get me to possibly 2,000 and possibly 500 subscribers by the end of tonight. Without further ado, let's get this major tropical update. As you see in the National Hurricane Center, here we have Faye right here at 45 miles an hour. So 40 knots. So it has really actually a huge jump, just skipping the whole tropical depression phase. As you see, it actually has avoided the Outer Banks. So it has avoided a North Carolina landfall, really, which is actually a huge factor in this. Now all we do is we still don't exactly know where exactly it's going to make landfall. Miles so show it making landfall on the eastern Delaware coast and spilling out to New Jersey. Some show it avoid just skinning Delaware coast and making landfall in New Jersey. Some show it just skinning the New Jersey coast and making landfall down the tri-state area, really downtown New York City, and then some possibly still show it Long Island, then Connecticut and Rhode Island. But even if we still have tropical storm warnings for much of New Jersey. Actually, I think almost all the New Jersey coast, Long Island, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. So if you're in a tropical storm warning, please get water, take precautions, like you saw my hurricane forecast. Flashlights, really. First aid. I know it's only a tropical storm, but really to the northeast where they aren't really meant for tropical storms. If you know, like their roofs, like Florida, they have roofs made for tropics. Just really be careful. The trees, they don't have palm trees. Palm trees can just deal with stronger winds than those regular old trees out there in the tri-state area. So really, please take precautions. I know it's only a tropical storm, but really, we all thought the same thing. We also thought the same thing for Sandy. And I know this won't be a hurricane, but still just take precautions, as this is a very unexpected system coming into the 2020 hurricane season. I did expect something like this, just not in July. Now let's go and check out the satellite imagery and see how organized the system is and whether we are starting to see an eye developing. So here we are looking at the satellite imagery here, and as you see, this system is really beautiful. It's a beautiful northern Atlantic July system. Really, it's very beautiful. We are starting to, beautiful like satellite imagery wise. We have all those outer bands right here. We have these outer bands, of course, right here. Just very organized. Let me just tell you that. Extremely organized, actually. It's a very nice looking storm. As you see, it looks a lot more tropical. Just 24 hours ago, it was an invest, very unorganized. But as you see, it is looking like it is starting to turn to the east now, or west star than we expected. So like I said, some models are showing it possibly just making a Delaware landfall, then up to New Jersey. Some show it avoiding just skinning Delaware, then going up to New Jersey. And then some show it just skinning the New Jersey coast like that, then hitting the tri-state area. And then, of course, we still have those ones that go like this. So really, this is basically my cone. And also, really cone we have. This is basically my cone of where the center is going to be going at this point. This is my cone at this point. So let me actually do this. This is honestly my cone, but obviously it can change. But that is my cone. This is my cone of where the potential center can go. Actually, let me change that up a little bit. I'm actually going to go like this because it could possibly go up all the way over there. So this is possibly where the center can possibly go at this point. This is my cone. As you see, it does get bigger and thicker as it goes on. But I hope you guys would agree. I really don't think it's really going to go like this. I don't see that. We can possibly extend the cone a little bit more this way. But of course, it's kind of, there's a lot of factors here. So this is, I guess you can say this is my cone at this point. But as you see, this thing's looking really good on the satellite imagery. Let's go and check out now the water vapor here. It's probably going to look a lot more, yep, it's, like I said, it's going to look a lot more organized on water vapor. Compared to earlier today. As you see, we're starting to see a lot of evaporation in those little warmer waters. We have a little extent right here. We are seeing 29 degrees Celsius, I believe, so a water temperature. So that's some nice favorable conditions. But obviously, it is going to be hitting some cooler waters, maybe some high 70s, low 80s. So that's still decent. Obviously, it's a tropical storm, not really. Not obviously a hurricane where it's going to fall apart. Also, short mention, I am starting to see some pop-up storms in my area, as you see, but that's obviously not important. But now let's go and check out now obviously all the data and information. Let's go and check out also the tropical storm warnings here for the northeastern coast, and then also we're going to be seeing whether you're in a warning or not. So here it is. We have tropical storm warnings all the way from the Atlantic City area on the whole coast of New Jersey, except that southern tip where it borders with Delaware. All the whole eastern New Jersey coast is under tropical storm warnings, all the way up there to areas in the far southern part of New Jersey, up to this tri-state area. All of Long Island under tropical storm warning. All of the coast for Connecticut, and just the tip of Rhode Island. So as you see, this is the cone. It was kind of close to mine, what I said. Basically, kind of close to what I said, really. Like I said, obviously mine's going to be a bit similar. But here is the cone for the National Hurricane Center. So if you're in the little cone, that means there's a chance that the eye could go over in your area. Obviously, this is where the eye is looking like it's going to go right now. You got to follow those letters. This is where the eye can possibly go right now. But obviously, if you're in a cone, that means the eye can go in your area. So either it can go like this, right on the edge, or it can go right here on the edge. So really just got to be careful. We're going to look at this. Exactly why I'm updating you guys when we have a huge update. But look at this tropical storm force wind extent. It's super large of a tropical storm force extent. As you see, the X marks a low pressure system. And as you see, as of 5 o'clock, it was Faye. So at 5 o'clock, the 5 o'clock update, it was officially named Tropical Storm Faye on the NHC. But recon showed it being Faye, like, I believe 15 minutes earlier. So this has officially been Faye for about an hour and a half to 2 hours here. I would have posted on earlier, but I was at physical therapy. But wow, tropical storm force or tropical storm warnings for the Northeast and New England in July. That's absolutely crazy to think about here. Let's go and check out the tracks. I know we just checked out the cone, but let's go and check out the tracks. As you see, they have definitely extended a lot more to the east. So really, it looks like Delaware is kind of out of the picture for landfall. But obviously, it could throw a curveball at you. So Delaware, as of now, you're in the clear for a curveball. But don't forget, you guys, a portion of Delaware is still in the cone, and it maybe even avoids a New England. It may even avoid a New Jersey landfall. So here's a new trend. As you see, it's going to be maintaining right here. Like I said, I didn't expect one to just go like this, like that, or I didn't expect one to go like this. I could, honestly, I don't think models are going to, I don't think the landfall is going to get too close to Boston or too close to Providence, like a couple models are showing. But as you see, the majority of the models show it right here. This is, oh no, that's actually not right. The majority of the models show it right here. Let me actually put a yellow so you guys can actually see it. So this is where the majority of the models are showing, right here. I'm trying to get this nice and close. This is where the majority of the models are showing it. So Boston, Providence, Newport, maybe even possibly Hartford, you guys aren't going to be getting the eye, in my opinion, even though there are a couple models going over your area, but the majority is showing it going near Albany, going right over New York City. Honestly, New Jersey is the cone's getting a little further from the New Jersey area, so we might not even see a landfall until Long Island, which, you know what that means? That can actually make it a stronger storm. So We are having 45 miles an hour right now. I do expect it to possibly get to 55 to possibly 60 miles an hour. 55 to 60 miles an hour is what I think it's going to be at its strongest, because now it may not even make a landfall in New Jersey, so it could have a lot more seas to go through. So like I said, it really depends on whether the jet stream does push it out a lot more, and that's what it looks like it's doing, because obviously earlier today it showed making landfall possibly, if not in the tip of Delaware coast or southern New Jersey. As you see, the jet stream seems to have pushed it a little bit more to the a little bit more to now the west. Oh, sorry, the east. But when it wrap around right like it expected, it could possibly just maintain it at a even force there. So that is obviously right there. Now let's go and check out now the intensity guidance here, see how strong this could possibly get. As you see, we are expecting it to get stronger. So it's at 40 knots now. Models may show it getting to 50 knots. I think the best range is possibly 45 knots to possibly 50 knots here. So it is expected to possibly get stronger. 60% of the models do show getting stronger, and then 40% getting lower. I don't see it getting lower now that it's possibly going to avoid New Jersey coast, because honestly, it went from hitting Delaware or Maryland and Delaware to now hitting going to New Jersey. Now possibly not even hitting New Jersey until it gets into the tri-state area. So really, really huge updates. Exactly why we need to be on our tippy toes. But now let's go and check out now all the details on winds, location, and all of that. So here's the precipitation rate. As you see, it is at 1,000. Is expected to be at 1,007 millibars within the next 12 hours here. So basically, we are gonna possibly see based on the GFS is showing it getting close to the Maryland Delaware coast, and then possibly making landfall in Delaware. So the GFS is still honestly showing it making landfall in New Jersey, and then going up to the upstate New York. Let's go and check out now the CMC model. So with CMC is showing CMCs, I agree with it is showing it kind of skinning that New Jersey coast at 1,003 millibars, and then going straight around the tri-state area at 1,002 millibars. I agree with the CMC, and then also the new model, the Icon model here, that is showing it possibly skinning the New Jersey coast and then going straight over New York City. Now let's go and take a look at the winds. Let's go and check out now the HRRR model here. This is the wind speed here in knots, and it's showing it pretty crazy up to possibly 57 knots within the next 11 hours. And as you see, this does show it skinning the Delaware and Maryland coast here, possibly bringing up to 60 knots. So that's around 70 miles an hour. I don't expect 70 miles an hour, even though it will get more ocean time due to possibly avoiding all of New Jersey until the tri-state area. But I could possibly see 60 miles an hour. That is reasonable. I don't see it getting over 65, but who knows? It made a huge jump there. That eye is possibly going to go in between Delaware and the ocean. And as we now actually wait, we are going to possibly now wait for this actually to fully reload here. We'll wait for that to reload. So let's go and check out now the other wind models here on actually tropical tidbits. So here is now the tropical tidbits NAN 3KM model. As you see, next 24 hours, it's possibly still going to go over New Jersey. So NAN 3KM model is still showing it. So those like a little branch of the GFS model still show that. I agree with the CMC and Icon. CMC has been reasonably, let's just say, accurate. But this is actually really crazy. NAN model does show to possibly 65 knots, and then possibly 60 to 70 knots over New Jersey and tri-state area. That's kind of a little crazy in my opinion. And that's that. Let's go and check out now. The WRF and M model here. As you see, this also shows around possibly 50 knots here, which is obviously we have now, and possibly getting to possibly 55 to 60 knots. 60 knots will be around 70 miles an hour. So still don't see 70 miles an hour happening here. But that's that. Let's go check out now the WRF ARW2, which also a really good model. This is what I agree with, skinning the New Jersey coast, then going up. It's not going to really make landfall to New Jersey until the tri-state area. This is showing around 55 knots to 60 knots. 55 knots is around 65 miles an hour. I think just a little less than that. So like I said, I don't really see anything going over 60 miles an hour, but that's, I mean, obviously it can throw a curveball at us. And here's now the precipitation. As you see, possibly 2.5 to possibly 4.5 inches of rain. Well, the HRRR isn't really loading right now for the Euro, but for weather models, same as it does go only 18 hours. But here's what it's showing at that extent here. As you see, some really nice winds, possibly ranging to 60 knots here, and that. So if you guys did enjoy that tropical update, of course, be sure to subscribe if you're new, as well as show your awesome support. I will have multiple more updates on this tomorrow, so obviously stay tuned for that, with Tropical Storm Faye out here continuing to strengthen as it does advance closer and closer to this tri-state area, which obviously has millions of people. So not only is it hitting the Northeast, it's going to be hitting the biggest city, one of the biggest cities in the USA, arguably the biggest city in the USA. So absolutely crazy, just the chances of it actually being a tropical storm, hitting the Northeast and hitting the tri-state area. Hope you guys did enjoy the video, and bye guys.